1 month ago today, I was happy as a lark, but now I go for walks, to the movies, maybe to the park, have a seat on the same old bench to watch the children play. Tomorrow is their future, but for me, just today, they all gather around me. They seem to know my name. We laugh, tell a few jokes, but it still doesn't ease my pain. I know I can't hide from a memory, though day after day I've tried.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Um, guys, look. I, so I watched the no, I watched the Who Killed Malcolm X documentary. I watched it. I had it recorded. I got this expensive ass package that I need to get rid of from AT&T Uverse, whatever. But anyway, I recorded it, never watched it, and today I sat my ass down. I know it's on Netflix too, so go check it out. But I just logged into Netflix. I got down to the last episode because I hadn't really finished it because it came on way back, like about I think it came on last year, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, um, I went ahead and listened, or should I say, watched it, man. And when I tell you this shit vexes my heart, man, like this shit vexes my heart to no end, man. It really does. And I'm not trying to get into it with a lot of brothers because a lot of us wasn't even around. You know what I'm saying? And so it really kind of taught me a lesson about people that really wasn't shit when they were younger. But because they hair get gray, people give them respect. And sometimes I believe in respecting my elders, but sometimes some shit I'm not just finna give your ass cause you got gray hair. I'm not gonna do it. What's up? What's up, y'all? And with this shit with Malcolm X, this shit bothered me, man. It really does, bro. If you go watch that damn documentary, the whole time, what really pissed me off, for those of you that don't know, there is a mosque in Newark, New Jersey, mosque number 25 at the time. And that mosque was the one that allegedly the killers came from, right? Come to find out, if you do any type of investigation into the story, the guy went and did some investigation because the guy kind of got a heart for Malcolm just like I do. I'm a Christian, but Malcolm is my dude. I love Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? I got mad respect for that dude because he was a man of character, a man of principle. What's up, Kelvin? He stood on what he believed in, and I hope I can be like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I strive to be like. I want to be like that type of guy. I want people to say that about me. That even against all odds, I stood on my principles, even if it cost me my life, like Malcolm did. That's why I respect that guy because he died for what he believed in. He paid the ultimate price. You know what I'm saying? Him and Martin Luther King. That's why you don't hear me just 100% drag even Martin Luther King. I won't drag Martin Luther King. That man gave the ultimate sacrifice. He gave his life for what he believed in. You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm X gave his life for what's right, man. And so, although I'm not a Muslim, I have the utmost respect for, Malcolm X because I see a man who stood on principles and values, which is rare in this day and age. We don't have any more Malcolm X's to me. To be completely honest, we don't have. If we do, we have a few people that are good people. I'm not saying everybody's evil, and I'm not trying to over glorify Malcolm. But what I'm saying is, shoot, he glorified enough. If you ask me, I mean, this guy is apart from. I ain't trying to be funny. I like him more than I like Marcus Garvey. And Garvey's Garvey was a believer, actually a good dude, did a lot of good things. But I like Malcolm. Everything I see about this dude, everything I hear about him is from a good. He's always seemed to me he had good intentions. He seemed to be the type of guy that really wanted to do the right thing, and he was loyal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler alert, right? Because I'm about to play a few clips of the movie, of the documentary, and one clip made me really want to slap the shit out of somebody. And you know, and I know, like I said, finna play something because I'm gonna play it for y'all. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and play it. So let me hold on one second. This is at chapter 6. This is the last chapter. So let me go. So basically, this gentleman has went all over the country. I can't show the screen, obviously, it's Netflix. This guy went all over the country and basically found the killers. He found out one of the main killers that killed him, right? The guy that killed him was the guy that had the sawed-off shotgun that really killed Malcolm X. And the callousness, because guys, we as on the outside looking in, we know who Malcolm X is and what he represents. At least most of us do. But I really want you guys to listen to this bullshit, man. I want y'all to listen to this shit right here, man. Because what happened, the dude that killed him basically got respect from, I think he was involved in Cory Booker's campaign. He did a lot of things supposedly in the community, helping young black boys. I don't know how, I didn't see no resources he left, but I guess he may have tried to do right. You know what I'm saying? He got old, basically. But when he had any type of youth, he was an asshole. He was out here killing, shooting, doing a lot of dumb shit, and he was protected. And what it looks like was he was an informant for the FBI, a federal informant. He was very protected throughout the legal system. In fact, they found paperwork saying that if anyone in the FBI draws this case back to him, to this guy, then you need to go to the proper authorities in the upper management of the FBI before you give it to the prosecution trying to go after Malcolm X in the county in New York. So what does that tell you? That tells you that this guy's protected by the federal government. Why? You make the call. I think he was a snitch. I think he went in there hired by the government to kill Malcolm X. They knew he was going to kill Malcolm X. So just think about this shit now. And what pissed me off, a lot of the shit I believe and the way I think comes from this man. So I'm saying I had a great father, so I'm not going to besmirch my dad. But when you want to talk about a guy who really is somebody who I really kind of like in myself, I mean, I know, who do you think you are? Like, that's Malcolm X. But I try to be like that. I respect the hell out of this man. I could sit and listen to this man for hours, talking and debating people and listening to his reason and his logic. This guy's probably the greatest leader we've ever had in this country. I'm going to be straight up. I don't see too much wrong. You can't say too much about him. Because he's one of the real leaders. He was an ideologue. He was one who believed in certain principles and ideals that I think now you can say, well, Malcolm X didn't have any resources. Well, I'm going to go into that because that's what got me pissed off about this shit, how they did that man. But let me keep going. I'm going to go ahead and play this because I'm really upset by this thing. Let me let it play. So basically, the guy went and found the killer. The killer has died. He died while he was doing the investigation, right? The killer got old and died, right? So he's talking to some friends of the family, friends of that guy, and one of the guys was his friends, and he asked a couple of questions. Also, the guy's son is sitting there. So I want to play this. This is like at the 26-minute mark in the final episode. But let's keep going. I mean, because hold on, let me go back. So the thing throughout this whole video that made me want to slap the shit out of people, a lot of these older people, man, that's old. I mean, we gonna dig that up. That's man, don't let that's old news, man. We don't need to talk about that. You done kill this man. You not only did you kill him, justice needs to be served. Damn it. I hate that shit. That's what I hate about us, man. I hate about us. A lot of fuck shit goes on in our community and we condone it and support it. Now you got these old motherfuckers up here. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna say what I feel. You got these old motherfuckers up here scared to go into that shit because for one, you scared because you knew he was protected by the government. This shit make me so mad. Let me keep going, man.
Community loves him.
He's that kind of guy.
Well, the question is, how?
So he talking about the community loves the guy that killed Malcolm. His name is Mustafa. He had a Muslim. He changed his name after he killed Malcolm, obviously, because he was something X, and then he changed it over. Winston, whatever his name was, William X, and then he changed it over. So I think that was his name.
think he understood what he did.
What he alleged.
All alleged have done.
So he keeps talking about, well, he allegedly did. The dude trying to correct him. He ain't really, watch this. So the dude asking him a question.
I could never speak to him. I would never attempt to speak to him. What's done is done. It just happened.
That's the theme of this whole damn documentary. Everybody this guy went and investigated. What's done is done. Let sleeping dogs lie. Don't. And one scene he went, hey man, you don't want to investigate that guy, man. You're gonna wind up in prison. Don't investigate him. Like what the? So you mean to tell me all these motherfuckers in Newark walking around knowing that this man killed? Do y'all understand that shit? Look, I know somebody might do this and they might be from Newark. They might get offended and call me names and insult me. Look, man, I'm sorry. Justice needs. This is something that I think people deserve to know. The truth needs to come out, number one, because Malcolm deserves that. That's first. That man deserves that. He gave his life for the struggle, right? That's number one. So Malcolm deserves justice. Secondly, the killer of this man who took him from his wife and kids, who all Malcolm did, and I'm going to go into that in a minute, all Malcolm did was leave the nation because everything Malcolm said was the truth. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell the truth. Let's keep going.
Why should we dwell on that?
Why should we dwell on it?
Didn't people get charged for the assassination?
Now here go the son. The son talking about, man, people get charged. So just because this guy investigated the shit. Now, let me keep going.
People went to prison for that.
People went to prison.
That's the end of the case.
That's the end of it. He's saying that shit with a smirk. He laughing like the shit funny. They went to jail.
Yeah, but that's not the end of the case, though. I mean, because almost before the ink was dry on that case, people knew that trial was bogus. Everyone, I mean, we knew everybody.
A lot of cases are bogus.
I guess
but to name names and say this is what I know, this is who I believe. That's what opens wounds.
See, this nigga talking about opening wounds and to name names and talk about it. And the daddy sitting over there nodding like, yeah, son. Yeah. I mean, oh, my God. And I don't have nothing to say about the nation. I don't have nothing bad to say about them. I think they do a lot of good in the community. I'm not going to just besmirch them like that. But I think this is a tragedy. We lost a brother who, one of our real soldiers in Malcolm X, a real one. You know what I'm saying? If you really do some homework into who Malcolm X really was and what he was about, you'll know he was a real one. And the thing is, a lot of these brothers at that temple thought they were jealous of Malcolm X. Malcolm X had a mouthpiece. He was also a handsome brother. And he wasn't corrupted by sleeping with a bunch of women. He wasn't gay. Don't come in my comment. If you come in my comment section and make that comment, your ass will be forever and eternally blocked from my channel. Talking about Malcolm X was gay. That was started by some small hats to socially engineer our dumb ass. But anyway, that's the thing, man. Like that shit was evil what that brother just said. A lot of people, make accusations, but what's done is done. They've been saying that shit this whole documentary, man. What does that do for Norwich? What does that do for us?
Chapter's closed for as far as wicked.
We don't give a damn. That's how he talking. Let me tell you something. Niggas ain't shit, dog. This is the Audacity of Niggadom Volume 3. Because my thing is this, man. If you go and look at who Malcolm X was and what he represented, Malcolm X became a member while he was in prison. Was devoted to Elijah Muhammad. Up under the Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad wasn't half the orator that Malcolm X was. When Elijah Muhammad brought him in, they had about 700-800 members in the Nation of Islam. By the time the Nation of Islam killed this brother, before he left and was suspended, they had grown to over 25,000 members. When Malcolm left, they dwindled down to about 7,000-8,000 members. They lost a lot of members. there was a lot of wealth that was created by the growth of the Nation of Islam under Malcolm X's tutelage, or should I say, under Elijah Muhammad was the mentor. So I'm not going to say, I'm not going to besmirch what he really represented. But what I'm saying is, under his tutelage, they grew a lot, and a lot of wealth was generated. Millions of dollars was generated for this brother, for Elijah Muhammad, and it was wealthy, and a lot of brothers was eating out of that. And they didn't like Malcolm because Malcolm, you ever seen that movie? Remember Training Day? Y'all remember Training Day when they shot that dude? They went there and shot that dude at the house that had all that money. And they was like, take the money, and he wouldn't take it. And they was mad at him. They didn't like him. And so they set him up to kill him. That's what you saw with Malcolm X, basically. So Malcolm X was one of them guys. Was he perfect? No, he wasn't perfect. I didn't say the man was perfect. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to a leader that we've had in America, he's the closest thing to perfect I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. A lot of the flaws that I think Garvey had, I don't think he had. Did he have an ego? Did he have pride? Yeah. There was a brother that got killed that was a Muslim that was a friend of his. And Malcolm X wanted to fly out to California and go to war with the cops because the brother was sitting there praying with his hands up like they pray. And the cop came and shot 7 of them in cold blood and killed him. And when he was shot laying on the ground, they sat there and stumped him out and killed him. This happened in the 60s. And Malcolm was a friend of this guy. And Malcolm wanted to fly out there and take vengeance. Like Malcolm wasn't playing. He was like, man, we got to do something to these cops, man. They can't get away with that shit. They didn't lay their hands on one of us. And so that's when Elijah Muhammad was like, man, calm down. I'm making a lot of, basically in the documentary, they kind of highlighted the money he was making. And people that knew him knew that he had made a lot of money. He didn't want to go to war with the police, which I get why. I'm not going to just be, say he's wrong for, that is a strategic move you need to make when you really are powerful enough to do. I don't think they were that powerful at that time. You know what I'm saying? But that bothers me, man. It bothers me how they did Malcolm. And to go to the funeral of the guy who killed him, who's on the video footage. They got video footage of the day that the murder happened. The guy who shot the shotgun, who everybody, FBI witnesses, people, they got data saying he shot the shotgun. This guy walks across the camera. He was there. Now we at his funeral, and everybody is sending him off like he's a hero, like he's just such a great guy. And this guy killed Malcolm, and all these niggas that was in that mosque back then that they interviewing former members, they talking like, man, that's old, man. Let that go, man. That's over. It's done. It's over. Look, I have no respect. I have no respect for people like that. I don't. I have no respect for them. And they killed this brother, man. And Malcolm was a great orator. He got in the nation. The numbers grew under him like it never had grown before. He decided to start doing what happened was when Kennedy got shot, he already had a rift. But that was bound to happen because it was kind of like, let's say you're a basketball player, you're the man, and you get a guy on the team who's one of your players. You kind of bring him up under you. Well, before long, this guy's hitting 30, 40 points a game, and you hitting 20 points. And he the man, and you ain't. So everybody started getting got in Elijah Muhammad's ear and kind of turned him against him because they were jealous of this dude. They saw the spotlight he was getting. They saw the shows he was on speaking for Elijah Muhammad. They didn't like that. And so the guy from Temple number 25 he was a hater. He was jealous. And so what happened, brothers from his temple, and the way he used to preach or whatever they call it, the way he used to give his speeches, he would really he was very militant, like in a sense, almost talking like, I'm gonna kill somebody. Now the thing is with us and with black folks, we'll kill a nigga in a heartbeat. We'll kill each other very fast. Black people will kill black people very fast, right? That's why I had to make this an Audacity of Niggadom video, because we'll kill each other very fast. We didn't, Malcolm kept talking in his interviews like, I'm a dead man when he finally left the nation after getting suspended. When he got suspended, he didn't just leave the nation though. That's what's funny. That's what everybody, and if you watch this, they kind of go into that. He didn't just leave. He kept writing letters to Elijah Muhammad, trying to get into his good graces. This is not a traitor, guys. That's what I hate when I hear people call that man a traitor. He wasn't a traitor till later. I'm gonna go into that. When they shitted on that man, that's when he said, fuck it. Then he started telling the truth, telling what he knew, telling the dirt on Elijah Muhammad that people didn't want to hear. So when he finally came clean and he said what he said about Kennedy, they suspended him. He kept writing letters to him, and then he went down to and it's look, that's why I respect Muhammad Ali for what he did. But Muhammad Ali was very influenced by other people. He was, and I'm gonna show you how. Because people worship Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali is the greatest. I won't argue with you right there. He was very influential guy, one of the most, if not the most influential guy up there. He up there. You know, between him, a lot of people don't like Michael Jordan, but when we talk about influence, he is influential. So you know, it's between him and Michael Jordan as far as the most influential athletes of the last 100 years. But I'm gonna say this: when Elijah Muhammad, first of all, Malcolm went down to Miami. He met Muhammad Ali, got cool with him, and thought that was a good way for him to get back in cool with Elijah Muhammad. Well, Elijah Muhammad kind of plays his position as the authority of, and everything that you ever heard Malcolm X say is the Elijah Muhammad teaches us. And so he, you know, Malcolm wasn't bad mouthing Elijah Muhammad to Muhammad Ali. So what happened? They was bad mouthing Malcolm to Muhammad Ali. So Muhammad Ali went with Elijah Muhammad and turned against Malcolm because that's what the nation was doing. And that pissed me off. But I kind of saw Malcolm, you know, Muhammad Ali was young and influenced, you know, he was being influenced by them. That's why I don't got nothing bad to say about him. But that's what happened. And when that happened, that sent Malcolm down a bad road. So, you know, Malcolm wasn't saying then, and then all of a sudden, it was kind of cleared in that after he saw how he turned Muhammad Ali against him, he knew then he was never going to be back in the good graces of Elijah Muhammad because he had a lot of people around him. They said, man, there was no way Malcolm could even reach out to him. He would write letters that he would never get because he had so many handlers around him. Elijah Muhammad did to where he couldn't even communicate with the guy. He had no way of really directly communicating. Maybe he kept trying to smooth it out. He never could because he had so many people around him that was blocking because they wanted to be in Malcolm's position. So they hated him. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going on you know who today, the guy that runs it today, but he was in that mix back then. He was a youngin' back then. You see what I'm saying? But the thing was, this is the thing that get me about that whole situation. So Malcolm finally decides to leave, right? And he really wasn't saying too. He said a few words, but he wasn't really going at him like that. He went on this thing. He started speaking for himself because I'm like, okay, what you want this man to do? You want this man to sit here? You done silenced him for 90 days. He's been trying to kiss your ass. You don't want to let him back in. He can't communicate with you, right? So when he gives you Muhammad Ali, you turn Muhammad Ali against him. The guy who he basically brought him into the fold, not of the nation, not of Islam, but of the nation, right? Got him in with the clique and stuff like that. Then he turns Muhammad Ali, his homeboy, against him. So Malcolm was like, fuck it then. I'm just going to go do my thing, which I don't blame him. But just on the sheer fact that Malcolm went and said he going to do his own thing, that made him a traitor. That pissed me off. Because my thing is this. Malcolm is a grown man. I could take one of my students and they could be trying to help me do something. If I treat them a certain way and disrespect them, and my students say, fuck it, I'm going to go do my own thing, I can't be like, he a traitor if I treated him like shit. That's a lack of people. And see, this is the thing. And, I don't get into it because I don't get into religion that much on my channel. Y'all know what I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a church guy, but at the same time, I don't go into it too deep because I know how black people are about religion. We go all off on the tangent. But my thing is this. I don't believe in the divinity of this man. I didn't. And what made it crazy was black people would literally see this man. They knew he was out there hoeing. They knew it. They knew he was sleeping around. And they still said he was divine at the same time. I'm like, but his teachings go against what he's doing. He's telling you this, but he's living it the opposite. Don't that kind of contradict? And in their minds, it still fit. And that's cool. So I'm not even gonna go there. I don't go there because I'm not saying that I expected this man to be perfect. Because in the documentary, they said, well, hey, David slept with Bathsheba. Yeah, David repented. David went through getting rebuked by Nathan. David lost his son by Bathsheba, and he also had a lot of stuff come his way through Absalom, which was a direct judgment of him with Bathsheba. So it wasn't like David just got away with it. So you can't just say, well, hey, that's okay. Elijah Muhammad with David sinned, and that's how people do, right? So a guy literally said that this is one of the guys that allegedly was a FBI informant. Well, he's a New York informant with the New York police. So this is the type of shit that really pissed me off about that whole documentary. As I'm watching it, I'm seeing all these old cats that were around back then that were outright haters or were outright just informants with the FBI, working with the feds. The dude that had got right up to Malcolm was he worked for the NYPD or some shit like that. He was undercover. This shit was fucked all the way up. You can't trust the beautiful. Let me say beautiful, but the crazy thing about it, what I'm starting to realize, I think a lot of the reasons they have not been touched, and they okay, good, Hannah. All right, okay, that's what I believe too. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, well, I believe somebody is, but I don't think he's a man. We ain't gonna go there. But what I'm saying is this. The thing is, the problem I have is that when people thought like that, what it was, it gave them a pass to do dirt. And you see that same thing with a lot of pastors. You see that same thing even with Democrats. Black people, when they loyal, they loyal. Barack Obama done all types of shit to black folks. Niggas don't care. If Michelle Obama run up with Joe Biden, a lot of niggas gonna show up and help try to vote for her because they just like her, not because of anything she said or done. That's just black people. We're loyal to a fault, but we're loyal, and that's what really got Malcolm killed. A lot of people went and killed and wanted to hurt Malcolm because a lot of people said during the documentary, well, I mean, if it wasn't us, it was gonna be somebody else. He had it coming. Like that's how they was talking. I'm like, you bitch nigga. Like it really pissed me off, man. This shit, like if you watch it, it'll really piss you off how they did it. So the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, they was trying to throw Malcolm ass out on the streets. And Malcolm was like, man, I made millions for this organization. This dude went out and bought I don't know how back then $100,000 was a lot for a house. A house will run you about $10,000 back then. So just do the math. That's like a $2.5 million house today. You know what I'm saying? So he said, man, look, Elijah Muhammad got a $100,000 house, which is like looked like a big ass castle when they showed it. So he was like, I don't know, man. This shit kind of really deeply hurt to watch. Because that's one of my, I would say idols, man. He is, man. Malcolm X is one of my idols, man. And it bothered me when I see shit like that. It really do, how they did that, man. So they tried to kick him out. That's when Malcolm took the gloves off, like, fuck it. Y'all gonna kick me out? Okay, bet. This man's wife, kids, he have no money. He have no insurance. Nobody in the country would insure this dude. He has a case for reparations on that shit. Nobody would insure him because everybody knew that they wanted to kill him. He wanted to get life insurance. So he didn't know how his family was going to be taken care of, but he knew he was going to die. So when you see that man in them interviews talking, this is why I got the utmost respect. This man was talking about, I'm a dead man. He knew. And they said when they walked up to him, it's almost like he turned and embraced it. Like he walked up and looked at the dude like he knew he was about to die. That shit right there, man, I got mad respect for Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. This is my thing. The part that really burns me up is watching this documentary about how they killed his brother and the callousness of these people in Newark and how they treated that man and how you took our greatest leader in this country that we have ever had on some bullshit before he really got to do what he was about to do. Malcolm was literally over in Africa. Malcolm was pretty much the spokesperson for all of Black America. And not only was he the spokesperson, but he couldn't be bought. That is worth, what is that worth, guys? We don't have more Malcolm X. We don't got that many Malcolm X's left. He couldn't be bought. He wasn't like a lot of these guys like Jesse Jackson. And this guy was incorruptible. He wasn't bought. He was real. And he was ready to, and when he talked it, he meant it. This dude was ready to go out there and do something to the police. He was real. Elijah Muhammad was like, man, somebody calm Malcolm down. What they tell you? So Malcolm was upset because he's like, man, you making me look like a sucker because I'm up here talking about an eye for an eye, and y'all when they killed one of my homeboys, I'm ready to do some dirt. Malcolm was literally strapping up, getting ready to do something to the police, and what happened? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, his own words that he stirred up atmosphere that led to the murder of Malcolm. Yeah, he did. He even told I remember back in the 90s when they played that clip on the radio, that shit made national news. If we had to deal with a traitor, then we had to deal with a traitor. And everybody, yay! I ain't forgot that shit. I ain't forgot it, man. Yeah. It bothered me, bro. Champion, I know you probably feel this, man. That shit rubbed me the wrong way. How many people protected the dude that killed Malcolm? That's what pissed me off. Every time he went to talk about that shit, they was like, hey man, don't go there, man. Don't go there. Like, you bitch ass nigga. They shot Malcolm X. The dude wanted to confront him, and the dude died, and everybody was mad because he was asking questions. Like, man, you can't do that. That's gonna wind you up in prison. Why would the feds have documentation that has been uncovered in the Freedom of Information Act that the paperwork said if this guy Mustafa, whatever his name, comes up, you need to go through upper management and upper brass in the FBI to submit this paperwork publicly. What that tells you is he is protected. Because if a FBI agent had saw that and said, wait a minute, this the guy that killed Malcolm X, I'm gonna go release this to the NYPD. I'm gonna go release this to whoever needs to try to reopen this case. Well, you're gonna have to go through upper brass, which means that was J. Edgar Hoover. Let's keep this shit above. That was J. Edgar Hoover. That was the government, man. The government killed Malcolm X. They was in on that shit, and they protected the killers. And they framed. Okay, guys, hold on. Well, make sure he okay. He in there screaming, my son. Just make sure he okay. But they protected the killers, man. And they framed two innocent brothers who didn't do nothing. Two innocent brothers that didn't even meet the physical description of the actual assailants. They didn't interview anybody that was actually on the scene. The people that they interviewed they put conflicting stories in there and framed two innocent brothers. The brothers say, I was in prison, nobody touched me because they know I didn't do it. And he said, this is prison. You know how niggas is about Malcolm X. They would have killed me. That tell you right there. That shit pissed me off, man. That shit, and it really teach me a lot about our people. That here we are, some 60-some years later, damn near 60 years ago, and these niggas up here telling me don't say nothing about that shit. You done killed this man, took him from his family, and stripped us of a real leader. Who, let's be honest, Malcolm at least would have killed Martin honest. Martin was starting to wake up. Hold on, let me see what this is about doing. Hold on. I'll be back. Sorry about that. But like I say, man, I mean, I'm just disheartened at the level of jealousy that we saw in this documentary. It was kind of really thoroughly laid out. It was masterfully put. I went in there. It was masterfully put. The jealousy, it just outlined that. It just outlined how much of us that are really, how backwards we are. And how we defend fuckery and this code of the streets bullshit that we live by. That somehow everybody in Newark, not everybody, I'm sure, but a lot of people in Newark have they said it was an open secret that I heard the stories. I was like, wait a minute, heard it. So wait a minute. They telling y'all that this the dude that killed Malcolm X and everybody kind of knew it. And a lot of them older cats that was around back then actually knew it. It wasn't that they just said it. Them cats knew it because they was in the mosque with him. They were there. And he was asking people that was in the mosque. They was like, yeah, I kind of, come on, man. If a nigga go and kill somebody that's a national figure like that, and he in the mosque right with you think niggas ain't know back then? Everybody he talked to for that mosque was like, man, I was just, we just kept it to ourselves, man. Nobody else, we didn't talk about it. We didn't discuss it. Like, bitches, man. I'm sorry. That shit pissed me off, man. It really did, man. That shit angers me, dog. I couldn't make it through the first episode after they showed and tried to equate the imagery of Colin Kaepernick and Black Lives Matter to the great. Yeah, fuck that too. That's some bullshit. But you know, you got a lot of people that don't think. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing I can do with that. But I don't think some of the shit Colin Kaepernick standing for, Malcolm X, would have stood for, man. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm listening to Malcolm talk, some of the stuff he said and was espousing, that shit is relevant today. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, man, y'all took probably our greatest leader. Ain't no problem. I can't think of nobody, man. Garvey is up there, but it's him and Garvey as the greatest two we'd have never had. You know what I'm saying? And they took him on some bullshit, on some jealousy and envy and words. That's all Malcolm did. Malcolm left. He disrespected the prophet. He thought he was God. And the whole time, them brothers, when you listen to him talk, man, he changed my life, man. I was, we was knuckleheads. We was on the streets, and man, I got on the Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, and he changed my life. Which I'm like, okay, that's good. You changed your life. I'm not gonna downgrade that and make that like that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? That's good that he did that. I'm not knocking the fact that the man changed your life. But somebody can change my life. Guys, my students tell me I changed their life. I'm sure if I was out here on some bullshit, it's okay to say I was on some bullshit though. I don't think it's like it's almost like we embrace people wholeheartedly. I can look at you, like you, or even dislike you and still say what's right and what's wrong. You get what I'm saying? I can still be like, you know what, that's wrong. Even though I fuck with you, but you wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? I can say that. Malcolm told Elijah Muhammad that he wasn't going to say anything about Kennedy when Kennedy got shot. He gave a whole speech and didn't say a word, and then somebody stood up at the end of it and asked him a question. Do you have anything to say about the assassination of John Kennedy? And then he started talking about me being an old farm boy, saying that it didn't really bother his chickens coming home to roost. Which, I'm going to be honest with you, this is America he's talking about. And at the time, you got to understand, Malcolm X had cut the television on and saw people in Birmingham getting hit with hoses and dogs and shit like that. He done seen black people getting hit across the head with billy clubs and black people. His friend got shot innocently, unarmed. 6, 7 of them got shot, all unarmed all through the car. This is what Malcolm saw. See, Malcolm saw some shit way different than us now. So when Malcolm said, I don't give a shit, it's because Kennedy's the chief, the president of the country. He's like, fuck, I don't give a shit who he is, which is what most people would say in a situation like that. It was a lot of black people that probably felt that way. And there's when we supposed to be told that black people love Kennedy. No, Kennedy voted against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Kennedy was an opportunist. He took advantage of an opportunity, not because he got shot. Everybody feels sorry for him and paint him out to be a lovely guy. But when it's all said and done, Kennedy voted against the Civil Rights Act first in 1957. He filibustered it. Then he voted it when it was politically expedient. They was pushing for it in 64 and 65. Later, he had got shot in 63, but they say he was pushing for it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's the climate change. Because of Malcolm, he's pretty much the only reason we know a lot of shit about what was going on back then, because he told a different side. When he talked about the March on Washington, if it wasn't for me listening to Malcolm X, I would have never known all them different stories about how much money was split up, how Kennedy bought it out, how it was a grassroots movement. You watch TV, you would believe that Bayard Rustin, the pedophile, the gay pedophile who, they claim he started the March on Washington. That's bullshit. Go listen to Malcolm X. Malcolm was there. I don't give a fuck what they say about Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin he was the one pushing that the LGBT movement is the new front. He the one started that before he died in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? He the one started that shit. That shit you hear everybody talking about gay is the new black. That was the first person to push that was Bayard Rustin, because that's what he did. He was instrumental. Well, I ain't gonna say he was instrumental, but he was a part of the movement in the 80s and in the 60s of black people moving in the ground. He was there and he benefited from it because who was in charge? Who was his lovers? That's why you got a show called, that's why you got something on YouTube called I'm Not Your Negro about James Baldwin. And we think it makes him out to be such a hero. James Baldwin and all them cats, man, they sold us out, bro. If it wasn't for Malcolm X, we wouldn't know this shit. He would call their ass out and tell the real truth. See what I'm saying? And then you look at Malcolm, they ain't got no dirt on him like that. They had to make dirt on this man 70 years after this man done died. Now you talking about the man was gay. Fuck out of here. Man wasn't gay. You think the feds wouldn't have released that shit back then? That shit would have destroyed Malcolm. They was eavesdropping. Dude, let me tell you something. They was eavesdropping on Malcolm so hard, dog. They feared Malcolm because Malcolm was the one talking about, slap him back, hit him back. So J. Edgar Hoover wasn't really worried about King as much as he was worried about Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam. He was worried about that shit. Malcolm was that dude, man. He was that dude, dog. Like, I'm sorry. Like, in Malcolm, if Malcolm was around today and had that type of platform he had back then, where he had that type of mouthpiece, bro, it ain't no telling what he'll do today. What he'll be able to pull off today. What you doing, little boy? You know what I'm saying? It ain't no telling what he'll pull off today. That's real. TV. Okay, boo. I'll be in there in a second. But it just, man, it's tragedy. It's tragic, man. When I see how they treated this man, how they left him hanging, they threw him out. That man ain't have no money, man. That man died with like $100. I heard he died with $100. I talked to Donnie Samir. They say he died with $150. Malcolm X. Khalid Muhammad is another one. That's another one. You see, the uncompromising, real revolutionary-minded brothers, it's kind of funny how they wind up on the outs, don't they? Y'all notice that? What did James Baldwin do? James Baldwin was gay, and he had a gay lover who was a small hat, and it was James Baldwin's idea. He was the one that told him in the summer that he wrote that book. He was the one that told him to call the book The Confessions of Nat Turner because it would confuse people when they go to the library. They use the Dewey Decimal System based on how it works. You go in the library and you go get the book called The Confessions of Nat Turner that was written in the 1800s. Well, if you have a book by the same name called the Confessions of Nat Turner, then you're going to get that book and you open that book. It was written in the 60s and it's basically saying that he was gay and that it interjected. But then the guy said, I wanted to put the whole LGBT movement into the black struggle. So this was a small hat. That was James Baldwin's idea. So for that, he off my list. It ain't just because he gay. It ain't just because of that. It's because of what you did when you were gay. It's what you do. It's not just being gay. People think that means I hate gay folk. I don't mean, It's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Book is not ready. Got a guy finish charging, okay? Okay, Book? Okay. All right. But, that's what it is, man. And they did Khalid Muhammad wrong the same way Khalid Muhammad was uncompromising and calling them small hats out. See, you can't do that. See what I'm saying? What's the name said one or two things, they done kicked his ass off every form of social media. Y'all see that shit? Louis Farrakhan? And he barely said a couple of things. Barely. And he said that shit damn near 20 years ago. And what happened? They still talking about that man. You supposed to be in bed, little boy. You know that? Go in there. I'll be in there in a minute. Go in there. So that's the thing, man. A lot of us we don't really think stuff through, bro. Book, where you going? So, that's the thing. We need to really think it through. Watch who we support. They tell us, oh, James Baldwin is this. He's this. He wrote this book. He's this. He's that. They made a little movie of his a while. That movie based in about the dude that supposedly did the murder. They did, so James Baldwin was supposed to be this legend. You watch I'm Not Your Negro, you'll think, okay, until you know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff Malcolm would call out. Malcolm wasn't rocking with them cats. He knew. You know what I'm saying? But before he died, he switched on a lot of stuff and he was starting to become more a more, what's the word, malleable with people, and he wasn't as vocal with what he felt. A lot of that, I'm gonna be where I think we kind of had a loss, or should I say, a lost opportunity, was had he toned it down just a little bit, but still been militant more. I think that was a happy medium that could have been met. And I think instead of Elijah Muhammad, as old as he was, he probably should have looked at it like, well, look, man, as old as I am, this dude is the future. Let me not, you know what I'm saying, be so militant and not like this guy and get him killed. Even when he died, man, that shit pissed me off, man. Just the way Elijah Muhammad was talking about Malcolm when he died. Just watch it. He was talking about that man like a dog. They would talk about him like a dog. And I was like, y'all treated him like shit. What you expect? You kicked the man out on the streets. He went and worked and made you millions of dollars, took you from 700 members to 25,000. And you gonna kick him out on the streets? Him and his family? And you killed him? And you talking shit? The audacity of Niggadom. You know what I'm saying? The audacity of Niggadom. I was surprised he was able to hold it down as long as he did, the nation and his message. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think they really kind of, you can't, man. People knew about Malcolm, bro. That's why they can't. He's almost beloved. They can't, ain't shit they can do about it. The movie kind of helped it, but even apart from the movie, people that knew him, that really knew him, they told the truth, man. That's why Spike Lee was able to get it out like he was, because people looked at him and told him the truth. Like, man, you know what, man? Malcolm was the real deal. He was the genuine article. He wasn't fake. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of other people are. You know what I'm saying? That's real. So, you know, it is what it is, man. I'm just kind of disappointed in this shit, man. And just, I don't know, bro. I'm just disappointed in it, bro. I didn't say this. I ain't say the Nation of Islam ain't shit. I ain't say that. I didn't say that. I think a lot of black people aren't shit. There's good people in the Nation of Islam. There are good people in the church. A lot of them. I know a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? But people say the church ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. I don't do that. I'm not gonna throw it out the whole thing like that. I disagree with some of the beliefs, obviously, but I rock with some of the beliefs as well. And I think that there are good brothers out there that really are genuine, that it took them from selling drugs and killing and shooting to being real dudes. Then you had brothers that was in there, like this brother who killed Malcolm, if you watch the documentary. It's sad, but it's sad. But yeah, I believe in us too. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know, man. It just I'm ignorant, bro. I'm ignorant. So they didn't walk in there and shoot him. Okay, COINTELPRO infiltrated the movement to make it look like the Nation of Islam. Oh, okay. So let me ask you this. Obviously, what's your name? Whatever your name is. Korea Khan or whatever. Let me ask you this. Stop playing with the light, boy. So why is it that, turn the light out, boo. Turn it out. So why is it that when they go and talk to the mosque members, they protected them if it wasn't them and it was the government? So you got a whole mosque of people that supported killing this man. So you telling me they wasn't real Nation of Islam, though, right? They were just fake. Is that it? Huh? This is what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Blinded. You blinded, bro. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. No, the dude that ran mosque number 25 was a real dude. James something. I forget his name. That guy was a real, whatever he was. These were real people, man. These ain't no fake people. Those people he talking to now, they still Muslims today in Newark. No, bro. What we got? Don't know how much the story, a bunch about the story. May have to watch some of it. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. It's a lot of inconvenient information that this brother right here don't want to see. So how can anybody give props to Malcolm without giving props to his teacher, Elijah Muhammad? The ugly truth is that Malcolm bit the hand that fed him. Okay. So he must be one of them. You must be down with him. Okay. bit the hand that fed him. Okay, so he's supposed to just keep kissing his ass while they treat him like shit. That's what you're basically saying. Because that's what they did. They treated that man like shit. They treated him a certain way because he did something he shouldn't have. When he finally did mess up and said something that they told him not to do, that was the opportunity. And then once he got away from Elijah Muhammad and didn't have access to him, a lot of haters around Elijah Muhammad made damn sure that he never got back cool with Malcolm. That's what happened. So the people in the nation who still, up until the 90s, was calling that man a traitor, and a lot of people still call him a traitor, like sound like you do. That's what it is. That's why you took our greatest leader, man. You took our greatest. That's what you basically did. When you talk about black leader, he was a real black leader. Somebody who was basically incorruptible. When he wasn't out for money, he didn't sell his soul like a lot of these so-called leaders do today. You know what I'm saying? That's real. There's no way in hell you can tell me that this man can go out here who is a Muslim, can go and find other Muslims and sit down, look them in the face, and they protecting the man that shot him, and tell me that was COINTELPRO. Yeah, the government has something to do with it, but that's just like right now. I love black people, right? If the government come and offer me money to screw black people over, and I say, no, man, I ain't gonna do that. They had the choice to say no. The only way the government works is the only way COINTELPRO worked, and the only way they were able to infiltrate a lot of these organizations and do what they did and had all types of informants in the top brass. Now, this is what they said. They said there was only 10 people that was in the top pyramid at the top of the nation. They had 3 top level informants. That's what the word was, top, TOPLEV, top level informants. So that means there were 3 people in the top brass of the nation that were FBI informants. So what you got to say now? I want to hear that one. 3. Now this is what the Fed said that. The Feds, these people ain't got no reason to lie. So, I mean, and you still want to blame Malcolm. You still want to blame Malcolm. This man, all we got on Malcolm was Malcolm spoke out of turn and said something he shouldn't have said at a time when it was politically incorrect to say. Not that Malcolm was wrong. He spoke his truth. Malcolm got tired of playing these political games and told the truth. He didn't want to play them games like Elijah Muhammad did. Elijah Muhammad wanted to play the games and meet with the Klan and meet with the feds and you got informants in that organization to this day probably. You think the feds, it's feds, man, it's informants all up through the feds, up through the NR right now. I bet they is. Especially after 9/11 supposedly. After that supposedly happened. Come on, man. We got people still out here talking about he bit the hand that fed him. Come on, man. This man, look, you go from 700 members to 25,000 members, and he bit the hand that fed him? Shit. Seems like to me it's the other way around. Malcolm came and took them from an obscure, I ain't gonna say obscure, but they was just a faction in New York to shit. 46 mosques all over the country and 20,000, 25,000 members? No, they wasn't like that before Malcolm got there. Malcolm was that he took them and proliferated them. And once they got Muhammad Ali, they was like, oh, we don't need this nigga no more. That's what it was. Because Muhammad Ali had a mouthpiece. That's real. Nobody want to hear that shit. But he was influenced by them because, yes, sir, there are moles that were planted to infiltrate the nation of Islam. I never said Elijah was perfect. The goal was to turn Malcolm and Elijah against each other. Yeah, it was. It was. But you said he bit the hand and fed him like something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, champion. Thank you, brother. That man ain't bite no damn hand that fed him. That man, shit. That's like right now, I'm teaching. I get a motherfucker here, he teaching, and he a juggernaut. He a beast. He take me up to a multi-million-dollar corporation. And then he turn against me and I get him killed. That's what that shit like, right? And, I do something to mess him up way deeper than what he did because he said a couple of words. So Malcolm said something that they didn't like, so they killed him. That's how shit work. No, this shit don't work in there's no math equation where Malcolm X supposed to been dead. There's no equation where this man's supposed to been not able to even get life insurance to protect his family. No type of way. No type of way. That man's family should not be struggling financially. They should be set well off. And we should take care of them. I really do feel that way about that shit because he was a real one. I don't think that was right, bro. I don't, and I think the nation was wrong for that. Just because the feds gonna do what the feds do. If your ass sell out, though, you a sellout, you a sellout. They sold out and killed this man. That ain't no coming back from that shit to me. Well, you gonna get my respect. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't a big deal. Adrian, I don't think it was a big deal back then. Come on, you talking about the 60s. It wasn't even a big deal. It wasn't even a big deal in the 80s and 70s, if you ask me. It didn't become a big deal until probably the 90s when people started looking down on it. I'm telling the truth. Back then, that was normal. You know what I'm saying? The only thing was it was infidelities. But the fact that they was young, that, nobody looked at it like that. Ali said he regretted siding with the nation against my. Exactly, he did. He did. He did. Ali, to his credit, was young and impressionable. And every time you see Malcolm X was basically saying stuff like, challenging people, but he was always saying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us this, and he's made me all that I am. Even when they was in conflict, he said that. Even when they was in conflict, he respected him. It wasn't until they turned Ali against him, Muhammad Ali, that he started saying, okay, to hell with it. And he came on out with it. And then they kicked him. Guys, it was after that, actually. They turned Muhammad Ali against him. He started speaking for himself, and he took the pilgrimage to Mecca. They got mad and took his house and threw his family out on the streets. That's when he was pissed off. Oh, by the way, they went after that and firebombed the man's house, man. You know what I'm saying? They firebombed his house with his kid. Like, if a motherfucker mad at me and they come throw some shit and throw some cocktails up in there and my little boy and then they hit up against the window, they almost killed his daughters, man. They almost threw some cocktails in the window and burned his kids. Like, think about that shit for a second. You know what I'm saying? They almost did that shit, and niggas is still defending them. Like, think about that shit. Who is that evil that you would go and try to attack some little 3 and 4-year-old kids, man? That because you mad at the father. You already kicking him out the house. You won the case in court. Why he didn't have enough time to get out the house before they killed him, because a week after they firebombed his house, they killed him. See what I'm saying? Like, that shit pissed me off, man. I'm so mad about that Malcolm X situation because since I was a kid when that movie came out, when I was in 11th grade, that movie came out. And from that point on, Malcolm X was that dude. And I've always kind of had a lot of respect for him. But now I've gotten older and actually listened to him. And I read the book in high school, the autobiography, right? But even still, man, there's a lot of shit that people don't know about this dude, man. This dude was a real dude. So that's what kind of bothered me, is about how people come at him and attack him. Some of the people in that documentary did. And the stuff they were saying, man, that's old news. We should just let that go. Stop talking about it. Wait a minute. Sometimes, man, shit need to be brought out in the open. That's like saying a motherfucker raped a little 2-year-old or some shit. Because that's heinous, right? And you like, hey, man, that's old news, man. We ain't going to talk about that. We're going to let that lie. What? Wait a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what that sounds like to me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he ordered them to stand down. I did not say that Elijah Muhammad directly killed him. But for what a rogue faction does, okay. As soon as that man died, first of all, Elijah Muhammad also said that when they firebombed his house, that Malcolm did it. You believe that too? You think Malcolm fake firebombing his own house? You must live up there. See, I'm from Alabama, man. I'm a country boy. I don't give a shit. I ain't got them ties like that. I know dudes in the nation. We tight as hell. We boys. I tells the truth. I'm telling the truth. He firebombed his house. Elijah Muhammad said, well, he lying. I mean, we didn't do it. He just made that up. And also, mysteriously, somebody planted some. He said, I'm gonna go stand. And Malcolm X said, I'm gonna go stand out in 15-degree weather in my underwear, waiting 45 minutes for the police to show up. Right. Okay. Like, that's what I'm talking about. They did that man wrong. You can't, you got a weak case, bro. You got a weak case, man. Everything you saying, I can easily disprove. You know what I'm saying? Downplay him and destroy his legacy. That's right. They didn't get the shine. You're right. They was jealous of him, man. They was jealous of that man. That's what it was. I don't see nobody like Malcolm going and burning the house down with his kids in there. I don't even think that even makes sense, man. That don't make sense. Malcolm didn't do that either. So that tell you right there that they lying. Yep. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? They eventually killed him in front of his wife and kids. That's some cold shit. That's what I'm saying, man. That shit is evil, bro. So yeah, I blame them. I blame the nation, and I blame the federal government and the damn New York State, New York Police Department. All three of them work together. The guy that was doing mouth to mouth was an undercover agent for the New York NYPD. Sure was. That guy sat there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. I think I can blame the nigga that sold out just like I can blame. And I think that was an ordered hit. Because let me tell you something about being in the nation. If Elijah Muhammad made a public decree not to hurt him, right? Then you go out and hurt him. Don't you think you need to fear retaliation from the nation? If Elijah Muhammad really loves, because he supposedly loved him, that was his boy, right? But the next day when the man died, go watch this news conference. The next day after he was dead, watch how they was talking about that man. The body wasn't even cold yet. They talking about that man. So nope. Had mental illness because of it. Messed up. They did. Here we go again. No one can make you do that which you don't want to do as a grown man. When the Civil War happens, lines are drawn and people choose loyalties. They need a black man to be the trigger man. Look here, man. You really don't think that you think that it was just a couple of people acting unilaterally, right? They was protected by the feds. So the feds reach out to some dudes that's in a mosque, and Elijah Muhammad ain't got nothing to do with it. But the next day they talking about that man like a dog. Oh, by the way, they also literally a week prior lied pretty much. I don't care what nobody say. They were lying, saying he bombed his own house. So just because he goes out in public and says, don't nobody touch him, don't mean he ain't on the phone trying to get that man killed. I don't believe that shit. Losing a family member and burning his house. Exactly. Malcolm brought Ali to the nation in hopes of being, yep, thank you. He knew after Ali became part of the nation, they still didn't, who knew, yep, they still didn't reinstate him. He knew the nation would never reinstate him after that. You're right, he didn't. He knew once he did that, they thought, okay, you brought us a young champion, a world heavyweight champion. You got him in with the nation. That helps us. That helps our image. That helps our public publicity. But screw you. We're going to take him, but we ain't going to take you. By the way, we're going to kick you out your house. So that's what Malcolm started talking about. Yeah, man, this man's sleeping around with young girls, man. This man is a hypocrite. He called them out. You know what I'm saying? That public declaration was a publicity stunt. Exactly. You knew you was going to try to kill the man. Exactly what it was. Didn't his wife die in a house fire with a grandson said, yep. And the grandson that did that, set that fire when he was a kid, was thrown off a roof or something in Mexico. He did. Yeah, it's weird with his family, man. It's weird, dog. It's weird. Because I don't think he did that on purpose as a kid. I think that really was a mistake, but he died on some weird, bogus stuff down in Mexico, I heard. Look, man, Malcolm X is probably, that whole family, that situation is just a tragedy, bro. Just listening to the stuff that he went through and how he go watch it. I would encourage you guys. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. Who Killed Malcolm X? And just watch how they treated pretty much. I ain't gonna say one of them. I'm gonna say our greatest leader we've had in the last 200 years in this country. They killed him, and how they killed him, and why the why is what really angers me more than how. You know, it depends on what you do as to if somebody gonna kill you. But you know what I'm saying? it didn't warrant a fraction of what they did to him. Leaving the nation did not warrant death. It didn't. The reason he left, the reason they were so mad at him was because he was gifted and they knew he was going to be bigger than the nation because he grew the nation. And they knew he was going to take a lot of their members and people were going to follow him, and they were jealous and angry and didn't want to see that happen. They knew he was about to take them. So what was Elijah Muhammad supposed to do? Cry over Malcolm X in front of the white president and the ban the Nation of Islam over one. Man, come on, man. Come on, dog. Let it go. Stop trying to fight the Reaper. Just relax and let it go. Just stop. Stop, man. Like Scarface, stop trying to fight the Reaper. Just relax and let it go. You lost, man. Let it go. You wrong. You just wrong, dog. The man lied the week before because they know they tried to kill him the week before and burned the house down and said he did it. So am I now supposed to believe later that he didn't have nothing? He had no prior knowledge that he was going to get shot, and some dudes that are in the nation who have henchmen now, henchmen that are known killers. Look this up. They had known killers in the nation that were like chief of security, chief of the Fruit of Islam, all them dudes. You going to go and act unilaterally by yourself and kill Malcolm X, who is on the outs, but technically is still had some sort of relationship with him. How you know Elijah Muhammad ain't going to turn against you and kill you? Get you punished and kicked out. At least kicked out the nation. At least barred and disbanded. You know, tell them what they could have did to you. You don't touch Malcolm X for real, especially when he said don't touch him publicly unless you knew there was going to be no repercussions. And then on top of that, we got paperwork showing the feds was protecting him too. No, they knew. They was in on it. They was in on it, bro. They was in on it. Somebody put a gun to your head right now and ask you, do you think they had prior knowledge and knew about it? You know damn well you're gonna say yeah. You ain't no. That wasn't just okay. He got shot. No, bro. No, he got shot. You ain't gonna just go touch Malcolm like that. The dudes that they framed said that. They was like, man, we had problems with them. Then when they framed us, everybody knew we wouldn't have came in there and killed that man like that. They framed us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. That's what I believe. Elijah and the government killed this man. The government called him, talked to him offline, and said, look, man, we want to kill this dude. That's some shit you ain't gonna ever get released. Because then the government have to pay the family. That's a fact. I'm pretty much probably about 95% sure that's what happened. You're gonna have to only thing evidence is only gonna confirm what I believe. Now, if I go back and watch this documentary again, I'm sure there's gonna be other pieces that I will pick up because I was half-assed doing it while I was working today and doing other shit. If I really pay attention and sit and watch it intently and stare, I'm gonna pick up all types of clues and other shit that'll put together my case even better than what it is now. But I think I got an open and shut ironclad case right now that the government, J. Edgar Hoover, and the FBI and the police department were in on this. I'm pretty sure. But the Nation of Islam was in on it too. You know, how rough elements. Even the feds would disown rogue element. Exactly. Quick. They didn't have nothing to say about them dudes. They were just talking about Malcolm, man. That shit fucked up, man. They knew they was gonna kill on some bullshit. Here we go again. But what you got to say now? The other reason for Malcolm being killed was to get Malcolm to denounce the Nation of Islam teachings and to promote the Arab Orthodox Sunni Muslim teachings. I never said that Malcolm bombed his own house. Was to get Malcolm to denounce the. So he was killed to get him to denounce? I don't get that. Denounce the Nation of Islam and to promote the Arab Orthodox Sunni. Okay, so you're saying they killed him to push that. So you think that's probably the weakest one, bro. That's flimsy there. So they gonna promote Sunni. We don't even know what he was. Most people don't know he was that Orthodox Sunni. I didn't know. You know better than I do. That part we don't even know. Shoot, he could have been. He, but I'm just saying. So I didn't know. So nobody knows that to this day but you. They don't say but you. Most people don't know that. So you're not really giving us any information that, it's not like he died and now everybody, oh, we need to be a Sunni like Malcolm X. No. They ain't got nothing to do with it. And if that's the case, the nation probably should have protected him then. And probably, you know what I'm saying? No, sir. Farrakhan did not have that's another lie from Emotional Black folk. Okay. I didn't say he did. Bunker TV said that, but I think he did make a comment about him being a traitor. So that tell you right there the mentality of a lot of them cats up there. And you didn't say where you from. So you probably either a member, you probably a Muslim, or you probably real tight with a lot of them cats up there in that area in Newark. And you probably know some niggas that talk shit about it. That's why what's the name? Dick Gregory used to make little comments about him. He was real cool with Elijah Muhammad. And he made a couple of little slick remarks about Malcolm. He did. You know why? Because if you go look back, Malcolm made a comment about, man, we shouldn't have people, entertainers like Dick Gregory trying to speak for us politically. See what I'm saying? That's some real shit. See, look, the blood is on their hands, the nation's hands. Whether they want it, they don't like that shit, but it is literally on their hands. I heard someone say Malcolm was coming back to Jesus. I'm gonna say this right here. I'm gonna tell you something about Malcolm. Malcolm, regardless of the fact of what he was with his faith, I think Malcolm was probably one of the few guys that was in a position, had he got with King, bruh, and they kind of he told Betty, there was supposed to be a meeting where they was about to meet and hook up. Look, man, if Malcolm and the feds knew this shit, man, it's just like Scarface. Y'all remember Scarface when the dude Sosa told him, like, look, man, you got to kill this guy. He cannot make this speech to UN. He's gonna make it hard for me. So I need you to go up to New York and kill this guy before he makes this speech. The guy was in the car with his kids, and the guy had a bomb under the car. He was about to blow him up. And Scarface, Tony Montana shot him in the head and killed him. He said, I told you I killed no kids, man. I told you. Remember that? And everybody looking like, oh, Lord, we about to die. We about to go to war, right? That's the thing, man. Malcolm had to die because Malcolm was already going to the UN. Malcolm had been over to Oxford. Malcolm had been all over Africa. Wasn't nobody talking about no Nation of Islam like that. Look here, man. Malcolm had to kind of leapfrog that whole little situation and was heading to prominence internationally. And he had relationships with people all throughout the continent of Africa. And Malcolm was going to be that bridge between ADOS and Africa. They had to the government had so many reasons to kill him. They had to kill him. You know what I'm saying? I'm God body 5%er. So you definitely know that the nation don't like us either, because the Nation of Islam killed Father Allah. Never heard of him, but I'll look into that. I don't know nothing about that. I'll look into it. Yeah, Malcolm and King had they leaked up, brother. The way King was thinking, man, bro. I'm telling you, they was gonna have to. They would look I know y'all like, damn, you old. When I was like 5, you guys ought to understand, King hadn't been dead for about 10 years. You know what I'm saying? 10, 12 years at the most. When I was 5 years old. So people still, just think about this. That's like somebody talking about some shit that happened in 2010, 2012, 2008. So it wasn't that long ago. So you got to think about it. So there's a lot of shit I used to hear as a kid when I was a kid, because we used to be hearing about King. And they said shit from he had a lot of support among white people. He might have could have ran for president. They were talking all that shit. And if Malcolm had got with him, you better believe a big case for that was gonna be reparations. Reparations was gonna be a big piece of that. Had King not been killed, man, that I have a dream speech. He had a lot of political clout. You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm getting with him would have probably hurt a lot of the shit that J. Edgar Hoover didn't want to see. Malcolm never 100% denounced Nation of Islam. That's why he kept the name Shabazz. Elijah said he was killed. He was willing to take him back. I mean, man. So all I got to do is just say something and that's it. And you just believe it. They also tried to bomb that man's house. That was the feds, right? That was the feds. Let me tell you something. If I'm Elijah and some guys unilaterally act and try to do something and they come and ask me, I'm gonna say I ain't had nothing to do with it. But one thing I won't do is say he did it on himself, on his own. I don't know. I don't have nothing to do with it. I don't know how that happened, but we didn't do it. That's all you got to say. You saying, well, he don't want the house. He trying to burn it up and get. Bro, let me tell you something. They said it was a publicity stunt. They said it in their little newspaper. They was at that man, bro. I'm sorry, I ain't got nothing for him, bro. You ain't gonna get no love from me for them cats. You just ain't. Sorry. That's like Che Guevara, once he started going overseas and making international nations, Fidel never welcomed them back to Cuba. Facts. The government and the nation was threatened by his influence and respect he had internationally. We had better chance. We had a better chance of getting Yeah, we did. We did. It was. Let me tell you something. The economic positions of black people back in the 60s and 70s was such that reparations, guys. Let me tell you something. Nixon. They tell you to hate Nixon. Nixon gave our ass affirmative action, and it was for black people. He was not. If you go listen to Nixon, Nixon was talking about from a certain perspective. Black people tell you to hate him because he's a Republican. He's talking about black people want their own government, their own banks, businesses, and they need to have it. They're gonna have it. That's what he said. Let me see. Now I ain't saying Nixon was the best person in the world. I ain't saying he wasn't racist or none of that shit. But and you let these white liberals tell you how to think. A lot of us how to think. Let's see. Where's that video? Here we go. Let me play this. Watch this.
You all know that any business is a risk. You all know that a small business is a much bigger risk. And it is certainly no secret that a minority small business is the biggest risk of all. This is the truth. These are what the figures show. But all of us know that the bigger the risk is, the bigger the potential gain is. Whether it's in a betting on a contest, the higher the odds, if you win, the greater the gain. And that's why in this whole field of minority business enterprise, much of which will begin small but can eventually grow until it's big, you have such a challenge that we want to work with you on.
See, Nixon actually did a lot of stuff, bro. It wasn't Nixon did a lot. I think he did some SBA loans. That's what I know. I know you don't necessarily need to go through Congress to do a lot of shit. And I ain't saying Nixon was the best. He wasn't. I mean, he had some flaws, but I'm not just this. They tell you to hate Nixon. And you watch the the Spike Lee movies and stuff. And it's different, man. I forget that movie, She Hate Me or whatever the name of it was. So he where's that clip? Black Patriarch had it. I think he got it on Twitter. But I had to go find it. But he's talking about how Nixon was talking, man. Nixon was talking like that. See if I can find it. Let's see. I'll find it. Black Patriarch was talking about it. About black banks and stuff like that. And Nixon and he would have little clips with Nixon in there. And he's saying black people gonna have banks and stuff like that. So let me see if I can find it. I gotta find it now because I want y'all to hear it.
The one group in America we owe special solicitude to, and that is African Americans, the descendants of American slaves. As I'm always pointing out, no, we have, every special interest identity group jumping on the black bandwagon from, gays, transgenders, immigrants. What have we done to immigrants? You just got here. Yeah. with African Americans, it's the legacy of slavery. both democratic policies, I might add. But of all the groups demanding special treatment because of their group identity, women have got to be the most absurd.
So you talking about Ann Coulter? Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Watch this. Now check this out right here. This is what I want y'all to hear.
Black people, they want to stand on their own feet. They want to have black banks and not just go to white banks. They want to have black businesses and not just go to the white businesses. And they should have, and they will have.
Guys, so this is why I say Malcolm X was crucial. So they killed Malcolm X. This dude got in the White House, and King and Malcolm X had linked up, and he talking to you got a president talking like that. There would have been certain specifics that you probably would have been able to kind of muster, man, out of some of this stuff. That video, you ain't gonna find that. I couldn't even find that on YouTube. That's on Black Patriarch's Twitter feed. I'm gonna show it to y'all. Let me share my screen right quick. And that's the type of stuff you don't hear. They tell you to hate Republicans. Look, I'm not a Republican, but I'm not dumb enough just to hate Nixon just because he was Republican, like they try to tell you all Republicans are racist. And like, okay, well, so is some of these other folks. But this is it right here, and it's on January 23rd when he got that video. But you know, Black Patriarch is on Twitter, videos and stuff. But that's what he was saying. You know, he basically showed that. So go to Black Patriarch. That he's actually on Twitter, y'all. So I've been looking for one, but that's where he at. But let's see what y'all in here talking about. Let's see what we got. Yes, you're right about Malcolm and Dick Gregory getting into it. And yes, Martin and Malcolm plan to unite to promote our people pursuing human rights over civil rights. Yeah, but they was talking about financials, bro. I know what's the name was. Reverend Ike. Y'all don't remember Reverend Ike, probably. A lot of y'all don't remember. Yeah, if y'all too young to remember him. Reverend Ike owned a lot of big pieces up there in New York and land. He was cool with Malcolm. And when you hear a lot of the stuff Malcolm started talking about economics, that was his home. He said that's who put him on that. They was on that thing, bro. They was talking like that. That's what King was. King kind of reversed polarity with that thing. Malcolm was on point, bro. Like he wasn't just on no other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't. Malcolm was on point like a motherfucker, man. He was. Let's see what we got. Let's see. And that was Nixon, man. That video, that was, shoot, I don't know when. See, they tell you hate Nixon. I'm like, man, well, I ain't really got, I can't think of nothing. Oh, Nixon might have been racist, but so what? When you watch these movies, they make anybody that portrays Nixon has to be racist. They make you think a certain way. Every Republican's racist. You ever notice that shit? But you like, well, shit, this shit Nixon was talking about, that's some shit I want to, that's why when I see Trump, that's what I think about. Let me go back. When I see Trump, this is what I think about.
Black people, they want to stand on their own feet. They want to have black banks, not white banks. They want to have black businesses and not just go to the white businesses. And they should have, and they will have.
So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. A lot of this shit, man, that we get fed online and stuff like that is really not vetted, man. People tell us a lot of shit, man. You remember Reverend Knight? You old school, dog. Oh, man. Politicians won't even address. Yeah, it's funny how you got a guy who was talking like this 40 years ago, 45, damn near 50 years ago. A president was talking like this. And here we are today, and people act like they don't know what black folks need. But this guy was talking like this in the damn 70s. I think when you talk about Malcolm X,
banks and not just go to white banks. They want to have black businesses and not just go to the white businesses. And they should have, and they will have.
When the last time you seen a black president, period, talk like that? Never. Never. You see what I'm saying? Now, I ain't saying Nixon loved black people either. What I'm saying is that was probably political pressure. It wasn't Hispanics. It wasn't gays. It wasn't all minorities. It was black. He said black, black, black. When the last time you heard a president say the word black? Shit. Let alone talk about giving us our own banks and businesses. And what did he do? He gave us affirmative action, which was for black people when it first started. Democrats watered that shit down. See, that's what they don't tell you. That shit was for black people. It wasn't even called affirmative action at first. They changed the name. It's called the black something. I forget the name of it. But it was not affirmative action. They changed the name and started stuffing white women and all that shit up in there. You see what I'm saying? Malcolm X getting killed, that really hurt us, bro. That set us back as a people. Because Malcolm X was able to inspire. He was able to articulate things better than probably a lot of people can today. His charisma was just, I mean, how could you not like this dude? You see what I'm saying? He's one of them type of brothers. That's just, it's hard not to like him. You can like Tariq, but when Tariq get out in front of somebody, they eat his ass alive. When he gets in these debates, he is nowhere near Malcolm X. He get in these debates. Jared Taylor ate his ass up. I'm sorry. Then he got his ass ate up by that white boy up there that be on Brilliant Idiots. That white boy ate Tariq ass up. He goes on these shows because everything's emotional. Everything's based on, he doesn't use logic. It's just all based on, well, you know, so-and-so got killed and that was white supremacy. Like, wait a minute. The nigga died in a car accident. That ain't white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Some shit ain't white supremacy. Like, you listen to his shows, I'm like, this nigga every week is white supremacy, white supremacy. That fucks your argument up. You know what I'm saying? Because it really, you lose it loses its potency when you just make up shit and say it was white supremacy. Illuminati. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't do that shit, man. They do. I'd rather black people be Republican. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna make a confession. Black people, I'd rather you be Republican. I really would. You name it on any issue, I can about make a case as why you need to be Republican. Damn near outside of police. That's about the only one where I'm like, oh, fuck that. Outside of police. But the police, man, please. That's the only one. Other than that, anything else, taxes, family, government, everything. Education, I'm always to the right. Everything. I just am. And I just think that that's the best thing for black people. Make the case. Which one? You give me a subject, I'll tell you why. Give me a subject, because there's so many different subjects. I'll be on here all night. But if you want me to make the case for taxes and low taxes and just getting rid of these social programs, shit, what destroyed the family? Social programs. You know what I'm saying? Half of the black manosphere says that shit. You know, social programs destroyed the family. Social programs created single moms and thugs. They did. Say here, so do people say first when they hear you say that? So what do people say when they personally hear you say? Well, first thing when people hear me say that is they call me a coon. They call me I hate black people. I've been called stupid because everything you saying is against your own people. I've been told that because it's synonymous with people. Black people are synonymous with food stamps, welfare, and Section 8. So being against those programs is against black people, although most of us ain't even on that shit. But if you don't identify with the lowest common denominator of programs that are for people that have fucked up, think about it. We're going to give you programs for fuck ups because black people are fuck ups. That's what they tell you in reverse. You know what I'm saying? That's how they see us. That is literally how they see black people when they say some of the shit they say. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I remember there was an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and there was this guy who was a school teacher, and the school teacher kept saying some stuff about Will. Will was up there talking one time, and the guy, the white liberal, stood up and said, I mean, come on, man. Where Will is from, Will doesn't understand English like we do. Will, where he's from, bad means good and good means bad. And, you know, you just got to understand that he's not capable of thinking like that. Like on some real, like disrespectful shit, man. And my thing was, damn, if that isn't how liberals think of black people, then I'd like to know what is. Because that's exactly what they think of blacks, what they think of black people, how they treat us, how they look at us. They look at us as inferior. And what they do when they tell you that, hey, it's time to deal with the black community. Let's talk about Section 8, welfare, and food stamps. You know what I'm saying? They deleted this channel on June 22nd. Ain't that some shit? Hate speech. Damn. They got him. But it is what it is, man. Let me see if I can find let's see. I'm gonna find it and play it. It's a part where they were talking about how they view us, man. And it's crazy. But you know, man, a lot of the stuff that we have going on right now is based on a lot of shit we didn't do what we supposed to do, man. That's just the bottom line. We should have protected Malcolm. That's just that. I mean, I know it costs money, but protected him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not taken a vow on the streets. If I find a motherfucker you done killed something, done something like that, split a brother like Malcolm, or somebody that's out here doing some good, like there was this one brother in Chicago who wanted to go into the black community, and he was doing a shoe store. He came up with an idea. Was a real smart businessman. He went into the hood of Chicago and was doing like used sneakers and was cleaning them up and revamping them and selling them. And one day he was walking out of the store one night and somebody shot him in the head and killed him, doing something positive in the community. If I find out who the fuck killed that dude, I'm snitching. And you shouldn't be, oh, damn, man, you said you're going to snitch. If something drew up in your mind, like, oh my God, he should not do that. That's anti-black to say you're going to call the police. Because a man going to jail is bad, regardless. Even if he shot a good brother who's in the community doing some good shit, trying to empower him and doing something good. He was providing jobs, doing something good, bringing businesses to the community, which increased property value and all that shit. And a motherfucker shot him in the head and killed him. That's just like somebody shoot me in the head and kill me. And I'm up here trying to teach people, just been up here teaching to them, 10:30 was teaching, right? Or at least interviewing students. And somebody come and kill my ass, and you know who it is, and you just gonna keep your mouth shut. That's fucked up. That's what they did to Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want you to see his speech about economic reparations. That's when they killed him. Yeah, it's exactly when they killed him. That's when they killed him. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you, sir. Feminism, the Democrat Party, heroin, coke, crack, prison, and welfare did the most damage to our people. It did. It did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was. He was. Black people and the Democrat Party is like a woman in an abusive relationship who she won't leave. Yeah, I think that's the thing with us, man. I think there's nothing that we get from the party right now that we can even. There are no tangible things that we can talk about. Even with police, we don't get that from the Democrats either. I just know I'm not pro police. Outside of that, I'm a Republican through and through. I am. I'm not a party. I don't toe the line of the Republican Party because I don't play those political games. But on all of the issues, if I had a choice, I'm gonna lean to the right. I just am, and I think most of us do. Yeah, he was. He was. I'm a. Let me see if I can find this thing. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it. Black Patriot put up a lot of it, man. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Oh well. And yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. But they took one from us, man. They took a good one from us, man. They really did. And I hate black people had to be the ones that did it, man. You know what I'm saying? That kind of bothered me. You know, always I think one of our biggest problems in America is when we try to get somewhere, it's always easy to buy a nigga. That's why Africa fucked up right now. Africa's fucked up because niggas is for sale. That's the only reason Africa fucked up. If niggas wasn't for sale, Africa. Come on, Jared Taylor. I don't know, dog. I don't know about that debate, man. Jared Taylor, that shit was damn near laughable. At first, when I first saw it, I did too, because Jason Black kind of said he did a good job. I went back and listened to that shit and got away from the influence of what Jason Black was saying and just watched it outright and played it and just thought about what Tariq was saying. Tariq could have made a better case for his argument, but he didn't. So just because you believe something, you have to, in a debate, you have to be able to prove it. A motherfucker can tell you 1 + 1 = 7. Somebody can tell you 1 + 1 = 2, but if the person has a better debate skill with 1 + 1 = 7, they'll win the debate, even though they're wrong. That's what Jared Taylor did. Jared Taylor won a debate, even though Tariq had a more valid case on some of the stuff he was saying, not all of it. But some of that stuff, he was actually making a case. If I go play a live video, if I play it right now and just play certain pieces of it, I could show you where I would pause it and say, what he should have said was this. He didn't. I'm not saying I'm the best debater, but I just think that he didn't make his case as good as he should have in that debate. Just in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Yep. When it's all said and done, I'm just one rare few that believes that it's possible to love Malcolm and Elijah at the same time. Yeah, I mean, that's what we do when people dead. We kind of forget the bad shit, and we kind of do the good. He did a lot of good. He did. Elijah Muhammad did a lot of good. I think what happened was once they got separated, a lot of jealous motherfuckers turned them against Malcolm. That's what I think happened. If you really want to know the truth, they turned him against him. Jealous ministers at his other temple didn't like the fact that this guy was on a national stage and had grown him from 700 to 25,000. And so a lot of people were questioning, well, shit, Malcolm should be the successor to Elijah Muhammad. And people didn't like that because there was a lot of money being took in the organization. Was doing some crooked shit. They didn't like that. So when somebody out there talking about getting that money to do some things for black folks and doing something for black people, black folks were like, oh no, man, we gotta get rid of this nigga. That's what happened. That's really what I think happened. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. I think they killed it. I think they killed Malcolm because if Malcolm had stayed in the organization and took the helm of the Nation of Islam, Malcolm was genuine. He really was about the people. He was. Malcolm to me is like Thomas Sankara from Africa, if you know anything about him in the 80s. That brother wasn't ripping the people off. He was a real one. Most of the people in Africa, most of the people that are leaders, presidents, I think the guy that killed him was the dictator of Burkina Faso now. He's the leader of Burkina Faso to this day. That was his homeboy. That was Thomas Sankara's homeboy that killed him. Guess what they did? Thomas Sankara, when he became president, or whatever it was, when his regime was running Burkina Faso, he literally had the people of Burkina Faso manufacturing their own clothes, paving their own streets, building their own tracks, all that shit. Right? And so what they did was they decided all of the African nations leaders went to the UN and bitched about Thomas Sankara. They went to the French and they said, man, y'all got to do something about this dude. He making us look bad. That's literally what they did. That was just fucked up. And so I think Malcolm X was doing the same thing. He was like, he was that guy, man. That's what he was. That doesn't necessarily mean that every guy in Africa hasn't done something good. Some of those guys probably did do something good. They probably did do a few things. But compared to your boy, he made them look bad. That's just what it was. I think he made Elijah Muhammad look bad. Did he do a lot of good? Yeah. But it's certain people to this day, I can't say that shit in front of them. I had to whoop their ass. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. To this day, he's revered, damn near like a god figure by a lot of dudes. Meanwhile, they ignore certain things that kind of hurt us as a people. And I think this is my personal opinion. Nyla said this, and I actually kind of rock with that. I think they're a protected group by the government. That's my personal opinion. I think they're protected. I think they're the only one out of all the groups and organizations that have been taken down. The UNIA, shit, even the damn civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? They took that down. It was all up through that, messing that up. But them, they've been kind of held on to power, ain't they? They've been unscathed. So I don't know. You know, the nation. That's what I'm talking about. They've come through unscathed through a lot of bullshit. And when somebody come out there that's really about their life, like Khalid Muhammad, they wind up dead. Malcolm X, they wind up dead. You know what I'm saying? But the Black Panthers, shit, they had to get rid of them. But the rhetoric that was coming out of the Black Panthers, they took it from Malcolm X. So that let you know right there what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me go, man. I'm gonna see y'all. Y'all have a good one, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all watching my stuff, man. I want to say I appreciate y'all watching my channel. I appreciate y'all giving me these views. Y'all don't have to come to my channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every last one of my listeners, even the people who I go back and forth with. Sometimes it depends on what you say and how you say it. I'll disagree with you. I ain't got to go at you. You know, we ain't got to go at it like that. But the other brother was named Sean Isaac. He just caught me in one of the moves. I ain't with all that shit he was doing. But anyway, y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all.